Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, March 15th. We got a part 2 today for our college basketball videos. Put a video out earlier this morning to go over that early morning game and a couple of the early afternoon games as well. First play has cash for us, man. A same game parlay, Yale money line, and a total alternate under of 150.5. Like I said, that does cash. And we got 3 more plays in action right now that are looking good so far. Looking good. So, good little start to the day. Hopefully we can keep that energy rolling and look to just have a great day today, right? We got a handful more games going into the later afternoon, early evening, late evening. So I found 4 plays off of those games that I like that we're going to go ahead and dive into as well in this video. So let's not waste any more time, guys. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Smash that like button for me if you can and hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. First game that I'm going to be looking at is George Mason and St. Joseph, and I like George Mason as a dog in this one on the money line. Now, you can get this at FanDuel, man. This is where I like it, right? It's sitting at plus 102, but there's a profit boost right now on FanDuel for dog of the day, man. So they've been doing it all week. Dog of the day, pick that. You can put it on any underdog that you would like. It's going to give you a 30% profit boost. So that would bump this one up to plus 133, which I do like because this one opened up as a pick 'em. It quickly shifted to St. Joseph's as a short favorite. And I get it, man. St. Joseph, they've won 3 of the last 4 head-to-head, but George Mason did take this game earlier in the season between these two. They won by 1, but they did win. And they have won 7 of the last 10 head-to-head between these two as well. George Mason's won 15 of their last 17 games just straight up overall. And I mean, St. Joe's does bring the better offense into this one. They're sitting at 97 in the Ken Palm rankings. George Mason only 208. But defensively, while St. Joe sits at a respectable 66th, George Mason is one of the best in the nation at 23rd. And they also try to just grind it out and play at a very, very slow tempo. They're sitting at 320 in terms of adjusted tempo. And that's pretty much just possessions per 40 minutes. So, like I said, man, they just try to grind it out. And I think that they're going to have some success here against St. Joseph doing the same. Both of these teams, they are coming into this one off of a win. St. Joe's in that scenario is only 11-10, while George Mason sits at 18-6. We got to keep in mind, the fatigue factor in this one being tournament time, right? St. Joe's this is going to be their 3rd game in 3 days. George Mason, while they did play yesterday, they had 5 days of rest prior to that. So they're going to have the fresher legs in this one. And I think, when the second half rolls around, that's going to play a factor in this. And it's going to be a close game, I would imagine. You're going to want that team with the fresher legs, in my opinion. So we go ahead and jump over here to Outlier. Look at these guys in their last 20 games. We can see George Mason 17-3 in their last 20 games, while St. Joe sitting at just 13-7. And look at this insight from Outlier. We can see that St. Joseph is just 1-4 in their last 5 games versus top 25 scoring defenses. Just a 20% win rate. And we can see one of those losses was that game against George Mason as well this season. So I like George Mason on the money line at plus 105 on DraftKings. But like I said, I got that at plus 102 on FanDuel with that profit boost, boosting it up to plus 133. Then I'm going to be looking at Alabama and Florida. I'm looking at that total. It's sitting at 176.5, which is crazy high, but I am going to be looking at that over. It did open up lower. It was at 172.5, so we're, full transparency. We're not getting the best of the number right now. But I do think that it's still worth taking a look at the over. It's moving up for a reason. And you can still get that at minus 110 on FanDuel. Look, these lines, like I said, when they're high like this, it's always scary. But the over is hit in 7 of the last 10 games for Florida, 5 straight games for Florida, 6 of the last 10 for Alabama, and then 8 straight head-to-head between these two when they've matched up. Now, it's 2 of the best in the nation, offensively and defensively. Florida's 4th overall in the Ken Palm rankings, 3rd offensively and 9th defensively. Alabama's 6th overall, 4th offensively, and 26th defensively. So these defenses, like I said, it's a little scary considering that high point total, sure. But I feel like personally, more often than not, when you get, in college ball, when we see these two teams match up with powerhouse offenses and defenses, for some reason, the offensive side always seems to prevail in those matchups, especially when we see two teams that like to push the pace. And that's what we have here. Florida is sitting at 62nd in terms of adjusted tempo. Alabama's 1st. Just in the midst of recording, we're going to jump over here to Outlier. Look at this. Just in the midst of recording this video, it's jumped up 2 more points. The total sitting at 178.5 now. But you can see head-to-head, just these last 4 matchups between these two, we haven't had a game between them go under 190. So it makes sense why it's going up. And you can see this insight from Outlier as well. 12 of the last 15 games, the over has hit for Alabama when they are an underdog, which they are here as well. So, like I said, man, it just keeps jumping up. Well, now it's down to 175. This line's all over the place, man. You could still get it down there at 176.5 at minus 130. This might be one where you just kind of shop around, see which one, see which number you feel comfortable with, what odds you like. Me personally, I like that 176.5. I could see it at 177.5. Going higher than that, it's like, man, it starts feeling a little risky. But like I said, if the proof is in the pudding, it's in the numbers, right? They keep landing around 190. So I don't know, man. You might be safe at 178.5, right? So this is one like definitely check the pin comment down below. I'll put a link down there. Every video we put out, we put a link down there in that pin comment that sends you over to the Guy Boston Sports website, and that's where we put our final plays, the plays that we are actually running ourselves. The next up, going to be looking at North Texas and UAB. And I like North Texas on the money line here. They are minus 145 favorites, which obviously juiced, but I still like this one, man. There's value here, and profit's profit end of the day, man. I know some people don't like playing these tickets that, it's a little higher odds, right? Profit's profit, man. UAB, they did win the head-to-head meeting this year between these two. It was a close match. They won at home by 3, but I do think North Texas is the better team here. Just looking at it on the season, they're 24-7 overall. They were 14-4 in conference play. UAB was 13-5 in conference play, 20-11 overall. But you look at the Ken Palm rankings, man. North Texas is sitting at 68th overall, 106 offensively, and 43rd defensively. UAB 111 overall, 34th offensively, 283 defensively. And we jump over here to Outlier. This is one where I think the line's telling, man, right? I mean, kind of scroll down here and look at the total sitting at 133.5. You got UAB coming in here with that explosive offense. We can jump up here and just look at the last, let's look at the last 10 games. That's where we're at here. UAB, 94 points, 68, 89, 81, 80, 80, 90, 85. Like, these guys can score the ball, right? They can score. So, with that total sitting at 133.5, it tells me that Vegas sees North Texas being able to slow down this UAB attack. And I think they'll be able to do just enough offensively to push past this poor UAB defense. So, yeah, I like North Texas on the money line, and I'm seeing now that, hey, the odds are shifting in this one, too. You can actually get a little bit of a better price than that minus 145 at Caesars that I mentioned earlier. It's minus 142 at DraftKings, so definitely like that one there. I haven't actually put this in myself yet, and I think I'm going to go ahead and hit that at that minus 142. Then next up, I'm looking at the WAC championship game between Grand Canyon and Utah Valley. I like Utah Valley with the points here, plus 4.5. You can get that at minus 105 on Caesars. And there's a handful of numbers just trend-wise, that like really leads me in this direction. Grand Canyon 12-19 to the number. Utah Valley 19-11. And that's just overall, right? Both these teams against the spread. Now let's look at a handful of things more, right? When we're looking at these teams to the number. After a win, Grand Canyon's 10-13. Utah Valley 15-8. Grand Canyon as a favorite, 9-19. Utah Valley as a dog, 6-5. With equal rest, coming into games with equal rest, Grand Canyon 6-10. Utah Valley 12-5. In conference play, Grand Canyon 9-9. Utah Valley 14-4. So head-to-head on the year, these two, they've met twice. The home team won both those games, and they covered in both those games as well. But this is the championship game here in this tournament. Like I said, man, I think that it's going to be a close game personally. There's a tourney bid on the line. And both teams are 24-7 coming into this one on the year. Grand Canyon 13-3 in conference play, but Utah Valley's been an impressive 15-1, and we're catching points with them here. So I definitely like that a lot. Then we could jump over here to Outlier for a second and check it out. Grand Canyon to this 4.5-point line. They've only covered that at a 50% rate in their last 10. But if we look at Utah Valley in the last 10, 100% hit rate. So a lot of things pointing us in that direction. That's what I'm going to go ahead and roll with. You can get that at minus 105 over there at Caesars right now for the best price at that plus 4.5. That's going to wrap us up here for part 2 on our Saturday video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the content and found it helpful and useful. And if you did, please do not forget to smash the like button down there and hit subscribe if you haven't already, guys. And that's going to do it, man. We will wrap things up here today. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Sunday's action. And we'll recap today and dive into those games. I hope everybody cashes out, and I'll see you then.